Teoscar Hernandez, what a tremendous performance from him. He's having a heck of a time at the plate during his 7-game hitting streak. The call that you just heard, of course, Dan Shulman does a great job on Sportsnet there in Canada. Also the play-by-play man for NCAA and Major League Baseball on ESPN. Joining us now, and Dan, your Blue Jays off to the best start they've had since 1992. What are they doing well?
Well, they're doing a lot of things well right now. One thing I think a lot is their schedule was so tough early in the season, and they found a way to win a lot of close games. And that's really been a story for them through the first 50 games. They've got 15 one-run wins this year. That's as many as they had all of last season. 15-7 on the season in one-run games. The offense had been really struggling, but during this 8-game winning streak, they're averaging about 7 runs per game. The starting pitching has been really good, led by Alek Manoah and Kevin Gausman. And the bullpen, all those one-run games, the bullpen by and large has been really good. Every game feels like a playoff game because it's always a one-run lead, it seems, going to the 8th, going to the 9th. They're just playing good team baseball. They're getting a lot of contributions from everybody. They've gotten a little bit healthier, and I think they know they're good, and they've got a chance to do some special things this year if things go their way.
Dan, you mentioned getting contributions from all the way up and down the lineup, and they're doing what they're doing right now without Vladimir Guerrero Jr. playing at his best, and you know that he's going to get going again. How much confidence does that give you?
I think a lot, and Vladdy has looked better the last couple of days. Hit a home run 2 nights ago, had a double in yesterday's game, and even his not so good is still pretty good, right? It's just he set the bar so high last year, and he will get going. You just showed the highlight of Teoscar Hernandez. He was on the IL for a while. He is hot now. We see Vladdy now. He'll get going again, but it's guys like Alejandro Kirk, who is as hot as anybody right now. Santiago Espinal, who has had just a great year playing on almost an everyday basis for the Blue Jays. Danny Jansen hitting home runs all the time. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. getting hotter after a slow start, and more. Matt Chapman hitting the ball about as hard as anybody, but hitting in bad luck for the first 6 weeks of the season. Then you talk about George Springer and Bo Bichette, guys I didn't even mention. It's a really, really deep lineup. And again, starting to face some pitching that isn't quite as good as the teams that they saw earlier in the year. And they've done a great job the last 8 games. Took the last game from the Cardinals, swept 4 at Anaheim, and then just beat the White Sox for 3. They welcome in the Twins tonight. And, whether hitting is contagious, I guess, is up for debate, but it sure feels like that way right now.
I have a 2-part question for you. You mentioned Alejandro Kirk, who looks like he could be a linebacker. 7 hits in his last 8 games. He's hitting the cover off the ball as well. And Bo Bichette, something has clicked for him. Tell me more about those 2 guys and their approach at the plate.
Okay, so we'll start with Kirk, who I don't know how many people really know all that much about him, but he's got unbelievable bat-to-ball skills. He's got the highest walk percentage on the team. He's in the top 10 in baseball in contact percentage, meaning he rarely swings and misses. He's got the lowest strikeout percentage on the team, and he's starting to show power. He may not look the part, but I'm telling you, he can hit. And he's 23 years old. He came up from A-ball 2 years ago. He's really still getting used to the majors, and they're now starting to DH him a lot when he's not catching. Danny Jansen catches about 2 out of every 3, and Kirk has been DHing when Jansen has been catching and hitting 5th. They just can't take him out of the lineup right now. Bo Bichette did not have a good April, had a really good May. If you look at Bo Bichette's May and you multiply that by 6, that's Bo Bichette, what you get over a season. And he's a guy sometimes who he feels for it. He just doesn't quite feel right in the box, but he's got such a great work ethic and so much belief in himself. It's eventually going to come. Everybody can have a bad month. It's just when you do it in April, the numbers are glaring at you out on that giant scoreboard in center field. But I think he's been a little bit more patient lately, and you don't want to make him too patient. That aggressiveness, I think, is part of who he is, and one of the reasons why he is so good. He's just got to try to find that fine line between aggressiveness and patience. But another guy with incredible bat-to-ball skills, hits the ball to right field as hard as anybody, I think, in baseball. And his defense the last month has been great as well. He made as good a play yesterday as I've seen him make in the big leagues.
You had mentioned, too, those close games and how much of a good job that the bullpen is doing. Jordan Romano, you know better than anybody else, leads the AL in saves. And this is a kid that doesn't get a lot of credit when you're talking about closers, not only in the American League, but in baseball in general. What makes him so special?
Well, 98 with an 89-mile-an-hour slider starts. What
That
makes
helps.
he's a great guy. I mean, you talk to him in the clubhouse, and he's just a laid-back guy, really good-natured. Everybody, he's pretty special up here, Alana, because he's from here. He's from Markham, Ontario, just north of Toronto, and yeah, that always means a lot to people in the Toronto area and across Canada to have a Canadian guy on the Blue Jays. But he's got a huge arm, and I think you're right. The Blue Jays don't appear on national television in the U.S. very much, so people don't know how good this guy is, but he is in the upper echelon of major league closers, and he's done a great job. Did a great job last year, doing an even better job this year. I think, if I'm not wrong here, I think he's got 17 saves, and I think 10 of them have been coming in to protect a one-run lead. He hasn't had many twos or threes. He's had a lot of one-run games to protect. But Charlie Montoyo, the manager, Pete Walker, the pitching coach, they've done a great job using guys when they need to, getting them some rest when they need to. Because again, with every game, a one-run game, the high leverage guys, Simber and Meza and Phelps and Garcia and Romano, those guys have been in there day after day after day. And Charlie's done a great job. This guy against the top of the lineup, this guy against the bottom, this guy needs a day off. I'll plug this guy in. It's honestly felt like playoff baseball since opening day. The last couple of days, they've scored more runs. They've won a little bit more easily. They've gotten guys some rest. And to me, that's a huge key for this team going forward.
Yeah, no question about it. You guys start a series with the Twins there tonight in Toronto. But before I let you go, Dan, I wanted to check in on our good friend Buck Martinez, who has taken some time off, obviously dealing with the health issue. I know how much respect you have for him. Have you been able to speak to him, and how is he doing?
He is doing great. So as Buck announced about a month ago, he is undergoing treatment for cancer, and he is away from the team right now. But the prognosis was good then, and it appears to be even better now. We're texting, 3-4 times a week at least, and his wife Arlene is sending all of us messages all the time, and it sounds like everything is going great. Buck is tough as nails. He really is, and it sounds like the prognosis is only getting better and better, and we hope he's going to be back with us before too long.
Yeah, no question about it. 17 years in the big leagues. The game is better with Buck around. Dan Shulman does a tremendous job covering the Blue Jays. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Alana. Good to see you.